All right, let's get into it. Today we're talking about something that powers literally everything we do, energy. Where does it come from? And, the really big question is, where is it going to come from next?
I mean, really think about that for a second. Our entire world, our phones, our homes, everything, it all runs on power. But what if the sources we've built our whole modern lives on, what if they have an expiration date? That thought alone, well, it changes things, doesn't it? It makes this whole topic incredibly urgent.
Okay, so let's dive right into the problem. Because to really understand where we're going, we first have to get a super clear picture of where we are right now. And, well, that picture is dominated by a couple of very big players.
For the better part of a century, really, these two have been the absolute workhorses of our global energy system. You've got fossil fuels, we're talking coal, oil, natural gas, and then you have the incredible power from nuclear energy. I mean, they've built our cities, they've connected the whole planet, but, and this is a big but, they come with a catch.
And this is where it becomes crystal clear. Look at this comparison. On one side, you have our conventional sources. We know they're finite. There's only so much of this stuff in the ground, right? And they also come with a pretty heavy environmental price tag. But then on the other side, you have these renewable alternatives that are, for all intents and purposes, endless. And they give us a path to clean, sustainable power. So the bottom line is, we're at a crossroads. We have a choice to make. And that choice, well, it's kicked off this incredible worldwide search for alternatives. We're seeing this whole new wave of energy technology that's being designed to tackle the challenges of the future head on. And that brings us to the key idea for today, non-conventional energy. You can think of these as the game changers in this whole story. They're renewable, they come from all sorts of different places, and they represent a huge shift in how we think about power. So, you know what? Let's take a tour of what's actually out there.
First stop, our planet's most abundant resource, water. The amount of raw power locked away in our oceans and rivers is it's almost mind-boggling. And the cool thing is, we're getting way, way smarter about how to actually use it.
So first up, let's take wind power out to sea. See, on land, wind can be a little flaky, but offshore, the winds are typically way stronger and so much more consistent. This lets us build these enormous wind farms that can generate a ton of reliable electricity, and they don't even take up any valuable land. Next, we've got something that harnesses maybe the most predictable force on the entire planet, the tides. I mean, unlike the sun or the wind, the rise and fall of the ocean is just like clockwork. You can set your watch to it. So by putting turbines in these powerful currents, we can generate power with incredible consistency, day in and day out. And hey, don't get tidal confused with wave energy. They're different things. While tides are about that big rise and fall of the water level, wave systems are all about capturing the energy from the constant motion on the surface. Now, it's a tough technical nut to crack, for sure, but the sheer amount of energy crashing onto our coasts every single second, it's a huge, mostly untapped resource. Okay, this next one is going to sound like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but I promise you, it's real. The surface of the ocean is warm from the sun, right? But deep down, it's freezing cold. This technology, called OTEC, uses that temperature difference to boil a special fluid, which creates vapor that spins a turbine. It's basically like a regular power plant, but it's fueled by the ocean itself. How cool is that?
And of course, you've got the old veteran of water power, hydroelectricity. For decades, we've been building massive dams to harness the simple, brute force of flowing rivers. It's a technology that's been a total cornerstone of renewable energy for a long time, and it's still a major source of clean power all over the world.
All right, so we've covered water. Let's move on from what's around us and look up to the star above us and down to the very ground beneath our feet.
Solar energy. This is probably the one you're most familiar with. And it's just such an elegant idea, isn't it? We capture sunlight with those photovoltaic panels and turn it directly into electricity. It's clean, it's getting cheaper all the time, and the fuel source, well, it shows up for free every single morning.
But what happens when the sun's not shining? Well, we can actually tap into the Earth's own natural heat. Geothermal energy means drilling deep into the ground to find these pockets of super hot water and steam. We can then use that steam to drive turbines and generate electricity 24/7, no matter what the weather is doing outside. Okay, for our final stop on this tour, we're going to look at energy that doesn't come from wind or water or heat, but from life itself, from organic stuff. The idea here is called biomass,
Now, that's a pretty broad term for any kind of organic material. We're talking wood, crops, even garbage that can be used as fuel. So instead of just letting organic waste rot and release methane into the air, we can actually capture it and use it to create power. And this breaks down how it works. It's actually brilliant. First, you collect all that organic stuff. Then it goes through what's called biochemical conversion, which is really just a fancy way of saying you let tiny microorganisms break it all down without any oxygen. What you get from that process is something called biogas, and that biogas can be burned to create both electricity and heat. It's literally turning trash into treasure.
So when you step back and look at it all, from the pull of the tides to the heat inside the earth to the very waste we throw away, the potential for a clean energy future is it's all around us. The technologies are there. The options are incredible. The only real question left is, which path out of all these amazing choices are we going to take to power our future?